Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Out of the Ring podcast. I'm Joey, joined again by Cowboy Dave this week. He had so much fun last week, he had to jump back in again this week. And
How we doing, guys?
I'm also joined by Paul Spencer. He's with us every week. He's here. He's uh he's gonna keep it real. I'm outnumbered here this today, unfortunately, but we're no one likes us. The Eagles. No one likes us. We don't care, but we're outnumbered this week.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works.
Okay, let's go.
If you want to jump right in, Paul, we'll jump right in. We know Dave's only here for a half hour, so let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's let Cowboy Dave. Let's let Cowboy Dave want to talk about what he wants to talk about. Dave, what's your first topic here?
Let's go with let's go with the tag team division for the girls.
All right, Women's Tag Team Championship. Dave, let it roll. What's going on with this?
Oh, I love it. Aew and Dakota Kai. I love it. I think it's they're really showing what they got on SmackDown and Raw. They're kicking all these tag teams. I love it. They beat Natty last night, and her tag team partner. I forget who that was. Help me out, Joey. I'm not sure who that was. Her tag team partner. Was it Natty?
At the bracket.
Aew?
I was
Dakota Kai.
Italian.
Sonny Deville.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and actually, Italian Deville, they got to the semifinals, and I thought they had a shot. I thought they were going to win last night, but didn't seem to happen. They didn't get that far, but it's okay. I mean, like I said, Aew and Dakota are killing it, and I'm loving every minute of it. I think it's when they came out in the what was it? Was it SummerSlam? They made their appearance. SummerSlam with Bayley. They did really well with it, and right now they're rolling with it, and I think they're going to be your new tag team women's division champions. What do you think, Joe?
Question about the Natalia and Sonya Deville, right? They were just added in because toxic attraction.
That is correct,
right? They were last.
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Yep.
And they lost to Raquel and
Leah.
Right?
Correct. Yes.
Leah, okay.
Yes.
So the thing that shocks me a little bit with this tag team title division is a lot of the marquee NXT women are kind of in the finals now. Leah, Raquel.
This is true.
I mean, Aew and Dakota Kai, all NXT. They were all
NXT.
NXT, which is pretty funny to me.
Triple H's guys, right?
Yeah.
Girls, right?
That's what I wanted to ask you. Is this the new Triple H storyline with the NXT coming over and just taking over?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
That's what it seems like.
Well,
I wonder.
You can say that. I mean, it's just the way it's going right now. But
I wonder though how these established women feel, kind of being looked over or pushed aside almost. To these NXT women, which some of these women are great wrestlers. Don't get me wrong, but like I was a little shocked that Alexa and Asuka, her name's slipping my mind.
Asuka, right.
Didn't get to the finals. I mean, they're two of the biggest women's of even the last 5 years. That's shocking to me that they didn't get that far.
I can see your point. I see your point there, Joe. I really do. But the thing is, you got to remember, it's new. It's new now. Things are, Triple H. Everything's like you're not going to see the same old names you see all the time. So with
I get that.
Aew and Dakota, it's different. It's a different whole. WWE now. I'm liking that.
I get that, but they're not these women that aren't good wrestlers. You know what I mean? Like I get it. Like before WWE would push women who were lookers. They weren't great in the ring, but they looked good. That's all that mattered. Some of these women that are being like kind of pushed to the side now. Exactly. Kelly, Maurice, Candice Michelle, like let's go on and on, but take me back to my childhood there with some of those things. But, a lot of daydreaming as a teenage boy with those women, but.
Oh, I still do. What the hell are you talking about?
I swear to God.
He's still on the Liv Morgan train. Leave him alone.
Yeah. Back in.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong though,
Dave? No, you're not. No, not at all.
Like 7 months ago, I was down in South Philly, right, and I was eating at Miller's Ale House. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, sitting at the bar was Kelly and Candice Michelle.
Probably was
at Miller's Ale House. I was like, and I kept looking over. My wife's like, "Stop being a stalker! Like, stop!"
Joey,
I was like,
were they 100% noticed? Like everybody knew who they were, or was it like
"Well, no,
pretty
there was a big group of
incognito?
them. There was a big group of them. It was like, I guess they were coming from a convention around the corner,
okay.
but it was
Right.
them. It was oh my god, his name is slipping me, but he was in WWE and then he left. He went back to New Japan, and he does the GTS. He was the Asian guy. I forget his name.
GTS.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
I forget his name, but he was there also. There was a big group of them there, and no one was bothering them. So I guess they weren't known. But I was like, I kept looking. And I was like, "Can you stop like staring?" I was like, "You don't understand. Like my childhood was spent fantasizing
That's Kelly.
about these two women, like Candice Michelle. Like you don't understand how many times I rewatched that GoDaddy commercial on YouTube as a kid, like, and now they're right here in front of me. Like, come on now." But getting back to this tag team, this tag team tournament.
Right.
I like the new blood. I just wonder how these other women feel that have been there in the trenches, you know, and got like they weren't the ones that were laid off when WWE was in the pandemic stage. They helped WWE get through the pandemic stage, and now they're kind of just being pushed to the side by talent that
I don't think they're being pushed to the side. I mean, as long as they're getting their time on Raw, I think they're okay with it.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, they're getting their matches in. And Alexa is a legend. I mean, not a legend, but she's very. I mean, her name is, you know, she's very big. Yeah. We get it. And with you know, what's her name?
Asuka.
Asuka, yeah. God, my brain's not working today. Yeah, with Asuka, and Asuka's great too. And Asuka took time off, and then she came back again.
Yeah.
If you remember, Vince wasn't giving her any time at all, and now all of a sudden with Triple H running, she's getting more matches than she was before. Which is good. Yeah. But like I said, it's a new era, and we got that's what we need. I mean, new faces, new champions. I like it. I like it a lot.
So yeah, for sure. Who wins this match?
It's definitely like Aew and Dakota. I mean,
I'm going to go Aew and Dakota. I think they pull.
You give them a marquee spot on SummerSlam. You give them that big entrance back. You know, they get to the finals. They're going to be the winners, and I think the reason.
But I think we see a surprise at the castle, but I'm not going to say who that is yet. But go ahead.
Okay, but we'll get into that. I think I knew.
We'll get into that later, right?
The news was breaking last night, but I think it was smart booking by WWE to have. My names are slipping my mind too today. Alexa Bliss and Asuka lose to Aew and Dakota Kai in that spot of the bracket because it makes them look even stronger now. You're like, holy crap, they beat them. I mean, it wasn't clean, don't get me wrong, but they still beat them. You know, they still beat them. They still have a win over them. So it makes them look even stronger as a team because you're like, okay, they beat them in a match. These are two former women's champions. You know, these are two legit superstars in the women's division. So I get why they did it, and I do agree with it. If you're gonna make these women look tough and be your champions, and you want to actually showcase the champions, now you're not just gonna have them kind of be as a placeholder. Because remember, that's the big reason why Sasha Banks and Naomi left. You know,
that was like the two I was just talking about.
They felt like those belts were placeholders, and they felt like they were just kind of there just because they had the belts and they had to put them on someone, and that's what they ended up walking.
You got to remember too, Bayley and Sasha were tag team champs for had titles too. So that's what I'm thinking.
All right, Dave, real quick. I know you guys are the wrestling experts. Okay, I'm the guy trying to learn all this. Now, my niece watches wrestling more than I do. I'm going to admit it. I'm a casual guy. I watch it. I try learning it from you guys. But she mentioned two things last night. Let me ask you guys this one. Sasha and Naomi. I think you guys are going to talk about that, correct? Now, the other one she said, is it possible for Bayley to interfere? But I said no, because Bayley has a 6-woman tag team match, coming up the same night. I don't think she interferes. What is your take? Do you think Bayley can interfere, or do you think Sasha and Naomi come back and somehow interfere with this? I think that's where you guys are going.
That's where we're going with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if, and the only reason why I'm saying this is because it doesn't make sense at Clash of the Castle if they debut Naomi and Sasha back. Just because if you look at this Clash of the Castle card, almost every marquee card has some kind of UK or British or someone over there on them in the match. they aren't either. So I don't know if they would waste. I'm not saying waste. They're gonna waste it, but I don't know if they would use it at that pay-per-view, just because it doesn't make sense in terms of what they're trying to do with the card.
I can see that. I can see that where you're going with it, but then again, like if you put a twist in it, you could put those two in there. You know what I'm saying? Because Triple H sometimes he puts twists in there. And
it is a new regime for Triple H. It's going to be a head scratcher. That's what he wants, I think. So
you would think like you said, that's they're used. People over there, that's what they want to see. But then again, things change. So we don't.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, so Paul, just to clear some things up, the women's division title match isn't taking place at Clash of the Castle. Clash of the Castle is going to be Bianca Belair,
the 6-woman tag team,
Asuka and Alexa Bliss
versus
Bayley, Aew, and Dakota Kai.
Right.
Now I was confused too, but I remember it now. But that could happen. They could come out there. You don't need it because then it wouldn't mess up with the women's title tournament still, and you put them two kind of right back into the main event picture.
Maybe that's why she said it, because when she said Bayley, I'm like, nah, it's the same card. She won't come out there and do that. She was like, no, it's not, and I'm like, okay, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're 11. Shut the hell up.
You're 11.
No, I think the finals are Monday night actually.
Okay. Is it Monday night? Okay, maybe it is.
The 29th, right? It's 29th Monday night? Yeah.
That's
the 29th.
Yes.
Wait a minute. That's at the Pittsburgh. It's in Pittsburgh?
That's your show. Yes.
Yeah.
My God, Joey, what would you do? What would you guys do? Fantasy draft live, or oh my God, we could see this.
How about
that's a no-brainer for me, but
how about you take a power bank and do the fantasy draft live at Raw?
At Raw.
Joey, okay, listen. When I see like these female wrestlers up there, Joey, screw the fucking StreamYard.
He's going to be.
It's going to be a mock draft, and there's going to be no.
He's going to be chewing over Liv Morgan. Are you kidding?
Come on. You already know. I'm going to be leading the chant. Liv.
He's going to be the best. He's going to be the only Liv fan there.
I'm the number one pick, and I'll be like, Liv.
Paul, who's your pick? Liv Morgan.
Oh my God! I don't know who's running this program on Out of the Box here, but Honey Mustard. Okay, I don't get it. Mike Laura. You can check out Mike Laura every Thursday.
What's up, Mike?
Every Thursday night on 444 Locker Room Podcast right here on Out of the Box, and also tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You can check him out on Gobbler Inc. on Devereaux Sports. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
So before we go to another topic, Paul.
Okay.
Let's clear the air real fast. So this Honey Mustard, people see Honey Mustard a lot on these shows, whether it's our shows or Devereaux Sports. Let's clear the air real fast. So one time, me and Pat were doing a wrestling show, and Paul was commenting about how much he loves Liv Morgan and stuff. And
how do you do it? How do the kids do it?
Unfortunately, Unfortunately, some kind of like what you would daydream about her came up, and for some odd reason, Pat said, "Get the honey mustard ready." Why the hell does honey mustard and daydream come together? We don't know.
Because it's Pat.
It's
Pat's always thinking of food.
Number one, it's food related, okay? And I don't know if this is the new school way of thinking honey mustard, but I'm old school, okay? I'm just saying, okay?
I don't know. I think honey mustard might burn a little bit, but that's just me.
Let's clear the air. Paul has never tried honey mustard, so let's clear the air right now, okay? But let's move on, man.
But that's the running joke. That's the running joke for people who might be confused when you see honey mustard.
That's hysterical. Honey mustard.
Well, Dave, you mentioned to me you want to talk about the Intercontinental Championship here.
I am so excited about this match. I really am. I think I'm the only one.
There's a great comment from Mike Rowe. You know what? I give you all the credit, Mike, right here, right now. Doing a show with Pat, like I was on a show last night, and believe me, the UFC show when I chimed in with Pat last night, and I feel you, brother. I feel you. And you do it every week, and I only had 45 minutes with him. Woo!
Poor Mike.
His attention is always in the right place.
He's funny doing the show, but I love him like my own, man.
Yeah, his head is, but Pat's not.
Yeah.
I was talking about Pat.
Some of the things that comes out of his mouth, you're like,
man, it's crazy.
Honey mustard, like that's the Number one thing for Pat.
I know we're going off stuff, but could you imagine him in wrestling days now? So what are you going to do? I'm going to beat him down and put some honey mustard on it. I'm going to whip his ass.
Oh, man.
All right, Dave, take it away. Let's talk about some Intercontinental
Hey, Intercontinental title, getting some love, guys. Getting some love. I'm loving the fact that they're finally putting it on the map. It's about time. I mean, I know Ricochet was a champion for a while, and I know Shinsuke Nakamura was a champ for a while, but when they were champs, they weren't defending the titles, and the title was like non-existent. But now that Gunther's champion, Gunther, whatever you want to call him, he's a beast. He's going to, and now that he's got finally a contender, that Sheamus, you can't ask for more than that. Sheamus is great. How can you not love Sheamus? Everybody loves Sheamus. Sheamus has been champion. He's held titles. It's going to be a phenomenal match. And I know there's two big dudes in the ring, and that's what the Intercontinental title is all about to me. Finally getting some love, and I'm excited. I'm not going to pick a winner because I really don't know who's going to win the match, but I'm excited for the match itself because it's about time for the title to get some love. That's all I can say about that. But go ahead, Joe.
So one thing when I touched with if we showed it, but we didn't talk about it. Mike says he's back in the ring in October. That's going to be pretty cool to see. Mike, let us know more about that.
Yeah, you can check him out. He goes by the name of Slayer out there, man. He's ready to go, man.
Mike taking some bumps. I love it. Go, Mikey.
Yeah, let us know about that. Mike, we definitely want to check that out.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think it's interesting. Like you said, there was times with that IC title where it was there, but you didn't even know who was champion because it was just not defended so much that you didn't even realize it was still there. So I love that it actually matters now, and I definitely agree with you.
Wow.
Yeah, he makes
26 years.
Damn. Hey, good luck.
God bless you, Michael. God bless you, Michael.
You can do it. Get in the ring, kick some ass, man. Just don't take the honey mustard, brother. I'm telling you about that.
But it's definitely interesting because typically before with the IC title, what we would see these lower to mid card guys kind of challenging each other for the belt. It's very interesting now to see a guy who was just in the title picture in Sheamus now challenging for the IC title, and I like that idea. You know, if you couldn't secure the number one contender for the heavyweight championship, why wouldn't you shift your goals to the next best thing, the IC title? You know, that should be how it is more often. You know, if you're having a number one contender match and that guy loses, he should be next in line for the second tier title.
Totally
That's
agree.
how it should be. If they're not good enough for the main belt, they should be good enough for the second belt. That's how I think it should be.
I'm just surprised Sami Zayn's not in that. They took Sami Zayn out of the category for a while for the IC belt because to me, Sami Zayn would be the perfect Intercontinental champion. But I
think he will be. I think, like I said, I think looking at this card and looking at who's in where, like Roman versus Drew, you have British guy. Liv versus Shayna, you don't have a British guy. The women's title, you have a British guy, but then you got Gunther versus Sheamus, two British dudes, or not British, but you know what I mean, two UK guys.
Yes.
So they wanted to kind of keep that a central focus. So that's why I feel like they're not having Sami in that match. Maybe they'll save it for another pay-per-view. But I just think they're really trying to focus on these UK and British people to really get that card going. But which just shocked me because that card sold so well that I don't think you had a ponder to the crowd. You know, I think you could have.
You got to remember too, they don't have very much events out there. So this is a big thing for this crowd to see WWE coming in, and I'm sure they're very excited. You know, and they're going to see a great show.
Speaking of crowd, real quick, like I said, my niece watches it more than I do. Like she calls me and says, you know, she's in Philly. She calls me, did you watch it? I'm like, no. She's like, you're an idiot, you know, talking to me. But she said to me something about the crowd. She thought it was hilarious. Like there was something like Sheamus was trying to do a banger cheer or something like that, and the crowd was quiet or something.
The crowd was.
What was she talking about? Like she's like, you got to rewatch it. You got to rewatch it. It's so funny. I'm like, okay. What is that about? Like the crowd is behind Gunther pretty much. They're Gunther fans and not going to be Sheamus fans. Is that what it is?
I guess you could call it that.
Gunther's just a loved guy. If you think about it, like he was given a shitty hand. Honestly, he was given a shitty hand. There was no reason for when he came up from NXT.
Right.
It's all right, dude. Bring her on there. Bring her on there.
You want Hunter? You want Hunter on?
Is that Hunter? Oh, I thought which one is it?
This is Hunter.
What's going on, Hunter?
Say hi. Say hi.
Oh, they got the dreaded tablet in their hand. My kids are that's drives me insane. And if it dies, you're done.
Yep, exactly.
Life's over as we know it if that dies.
I don't know. All right, go.
Maybe next week we'll have the kids on. We'll do Joseph and your son. We'll do them on together.
Wait, I'll bring my dog then. She should be right. But she's probably smarter than WWe and Aew than I am. So,
But Gunther was given a shitty hand. He came up to the main roster. They changed his name for absolutely no reason from Walter to Gunther, which made no sense. So I feel like the fans are kind of like, whoa, this guy's succeeding even with the horrible death given. So I feel like the fans are really behind him. And also he's a great wrestler. He's really good. He has an interesting character. He's a very, very different character than what we're normally used to seeing. So I really enjoy the Gunther. I feel like he's one of the few guys who doesn't switch. Who he was in the indie scene, it seems like guy he is today.
When I was in Atlantic City, man, they were chanting Sheamus' name like crazy. They were like, "Let's go, Sheamus! We want Sheamus!" Oh. And he turned around. He was like, "Who, me? Like, you guys are cheering for me?"
Oh, wait a minute,
yeah. It was kind of like, it was really weird. I mean, the whole place was like, "We want Sheamus! Bring in Sheamus!" I was like,
wow.
So, I don't know. But I'm excited about that match. I think it's going to be really good.
Well, Dave, I know we got to get you out here by 8:30. You got another appointment on Patterson Ave Fanatics.
Yeah.
Every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Patterson Ave Fanatics on EOP. Yep. You can check him out. Give my boy Cowboy Love some love over there, man. He's part of the family here as well. One of the new hosts over here on Out of the Ring Wrestling. But Dave, let me real quick. I know we have two subjects here in about 10 minutes to get you out of here. But I wanted to ask you this. What do you think? Oh, no. Liv versus Baylor. Could this be the end of my girl? I mean, Shayna Baylor scares the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Shayna's great, but she's not. They're not gonna put the strap on Shayna. I'm not saying that.
Okay. You don't think so?
No, not yet. Nope.
I think they're gonna do it just to gear up towards. They're gonna do it to gear up towards the Ronda versus Baszler storyline.
That could be
because for people who aren't familiar with it, I know WWE talks about it a lot. Baszler.
I'm starting to cry.
Baszler was on the Ronda season of The Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
In UFC. Mm-hmm. So they became friends outside of that because of The Ultimate Fighter. Mm-hmm. And at one point, there was 3 other women besides Ronda. It was Baszler and 2 other women that were in NXT that were all from Ronda's Ultimate Fighter team. And they were supposed to do the 4 horsewomen of the UFC versus the 4 horsewomen of the WWE at WrestleMania. Right. We never seen it, but I would love to see Baszler versus Ronda. Save that for maybe like a WrestleMania type thing.
Sure, absolutely.
Would be huge.
Even a Royal Rumble would be good. Something like that. You
call WWE up. I mean, not WWE, UFC up. Ask them for some of the footage they have, maybe, and show that in a package to help build up the feud. It would be
good
perfect.
Call, Joe. Perfect. Good call. I like that. Yeah.
I think it's finally Baszler's time. She was so.
No, it's not, Joey. Shut up. It's still.
Let me finish first before you say no, and you might agree with me, Paul. When she first came up from NXT, she was unbeatable, right? Mm-hmm. And she came up to WWE main roster, and she was unbeatable in that elimination chamber. Remember, she eliminated like almost every person.
Right.
And then she lost by a fluky loss, right? Mm-hmm. And they never put the belt on her. And then they kind of made her start looking weak. And then she kind of just drifted away. They never actually gave her dues. She put in the work, has become a great wrestler. And I feel like it's finally time for a Baszler to get her dues. And how funny.
So are you on the Shayna train? Is what you're saying?
I am. And it's funny because her hype came back as soon as Triple H came back into power.
Hey, I'm with you. I want Liv to win too. I think Liv doesn't. The strap's not
Damn right. Nah. Well, as long as I love this card because I have my 2 favorite women, Alexa Bliss. Well, Monday night, of course, and then Liv Morgan. Long live Liv. You only live once. Twitter account. Check her out. Hell yeah, I'm her number 1 fan. I got the super badge and everything, baby.
I'm gonna go with Liv on this match.
Hell yeah. All right, Dave. Let's talk about this here. The main event: Roman versus McIntyre. The main event here.
Before we get into that, did you see his back last night after that beatdown?
Wow, I did. I saw it this morning.
That was crazy.
That was nuts.
Tell me again, wrestling's fake.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was pretty nasty. He took a beating last night. He really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm glad it's different. This is a different, because I don't remember. I was trying to look back last night and see if they ever compete against each other for a belt, and I don't think they have. I think when Drew was in that title run, Roman wasn't there,
champ,
right?
Yeah, but Drew was champ during the pandemic. Remember?
Yeah, and Roman wasn't there. Remember, Roman was gone because of he had new twin babies at home, and he didn't want to.
That's right.
Bringing it to them, so he wasn't there for a while. So I think when Drew had his run, Roman was gone, and then when he came back, was Drew in that triple threat match between Bray?
No, I don't think so.
It was someone else, right? It was Roman.
Yeah, I think it was Roman, Bray, and I forget somebody. Yeah, I think it was. Was it? I don't remember.
Braun?
I was thinking Braun Strowman, but I
think it was Braun. Yes, I don't think we've ever seen this, so I enjoy this match because it's going to be different, not something we saw. And Drew finally gets his main event in front of a crowd.
Well, we were talking about last night, and thank God we were saying, thank God it's not Brock or somebody that we've seen over and over and over again. This is a different, like I said, it's different. Drew is going to get his shot. Now, I'm on both sides of the cards on this. I'm on both sides of the fence. I can see if Drew wins, I can see why, because it's where they're having the pay-per-view. But then again, Roman is Roman. Roman has not lost in a long time. So
don't we need another title holder? It's almost 2 years now. Don't we need
it's been a long time for Roman, that's for sure.
I mean, it's Triple H's storyline. It's time to release a different story here. What's better than in your own hometown? Like,
we know what's better.
Yeah,
we know what's better. The lights go out.
Yes.
And it turns red.
Yes.
Karrion Kross.
The Fiend is back.
No. I heard something on that. Now if we're gonna go that direction. I heard he's coming. He's gonna come back, but he's not coming back as the Fiend. He's coming back as something, just being Bray. So,
really?
I think the fans are gonna turn on that. Honestly,
that's what I heard. I heard that you might see Bray in the crowd. You might see Bray somewhere. But I heard
the fans turn on that. Do you? What do you think? The Fiend was such a loved character. It's kind of hard.
He's awesome. Yeah,
bring Bray back, not as the Fiend.
Mm-hmm. That way, I think. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the Hornets or the Buzzards or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what he's coming back as, but I know I did hear that he is coming back to this pay-per-view. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
he is definitely coming back.
You have to.
That's the rumor.
Bring him back as the Fiend, right? And do a storyline where slowly, but little by little, he loses that Fiend character. I don't think you can bring him back as someone totally different, because the fans are going to be like, we want the Fiend. If you bring him back as the Fiend and then slowly he gets healthy or gets his mind right and he loses that Fiend character, I think that would not make the crowd turn on him.
I can see Triple H putting him in the crowd somewhere, and then the crowd, like kind of like a camera angle, shoots on Bray. And people see it. Hunter, come on. And people see it, and they're like, they sit there and say, "Uh-oh," like real quick.
Here's the thing.
Like did the Cross the other day.
I just seen it happen. I just seen it happen. The lights go out. Okay, he hops in the ring. He's sitting under the ring somewhere. The lights go out. He jumps in the ring, and he does that spider move where he's back on all four upside down.
Oh, yeah. The bridge.
Yeah, that to me. That has to happen.
Okay.
That would be
okay.
Because the rumor is that Cross is getting the belt on Raw. Like Cross is going to Raw, and he's going to be the Raw title champion.
Right.
Yeah, Mike Laura brings a good point. Like I remember the dude with the piggy mask and all that things like that. What do you think about those guys coming back? Because I think is that what Mike's talking about? Like when all the family come back.
It's going to be hard to I could see them coming back, but it's not going to be as those guys. Braun's doing his own thing and controlling the narrative. He has his own group now, his own wrestling promotion.
Unfortunately, all right, guys, I gotta get going. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
All right, Dave. Hey, Dave. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Listen, there's Dave Cowboy Dave on Patterson Ave on EOP. Check him out in about 30 minutes. Give him some love. Give him some shouts. Yep. Dave, we'll talk to you next week. And actually,
all right, see you guys. Great job.
Definitely, brother.
Okay, thank you. Later.
Mm-hmm.
No. With the Wyatt family, I could see them reforming, but it won't be the same guys.
Okay.
Brody Lee unfortunately passed away.
Oh,
Braun
wow.
Braun is doing his own thing with his own company now. He can control your narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one left is Redbeard. So I could see him coming back with Bray maybe, but I don't. They're obviously the other two are not.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see, like, it's hard not to see, just like, the original Bray Wyatt, like you said, the one that's, to me, I think that would be the best thing for him to come out, because a different character, to me, you're not going to want it. You're not going to believe it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think and here's the thing, and there's no knock on Bray. I love Bray as a wrestler, but the fans want the Fiend back. They want the Fiend back.
Yes.
And if you bring Bray back as anything other than the Fiend, the fans are going to question, like, hey, what happened to the Fiend? I think if you're going to bring him back, you have to bring him back as the Fiend, and then connect it to where maybe all of these Bray characters were the same character. He just in a mental state, and then he slowly is switching back and forth between the Firefly Bray and the Fiend until eventually he's just full on Firefly Bray again. I don't think you can bring Bray back and just say the Fiend never happened. That's going to make the fans not happy at all, I think.
Yeah, Mike Laurel says Fireflies, baby.
I wasn't too. I mean, it was a cool character, but the Fiend definitely was. I like the Fiend better, honestly.
Now, the Fiend was when he did the bridge, pretty much, correct? And that's when what was that move? The finishing move, Sister something.
Sister Abigail. Well, he always had that. He always had that finisher. His move set never really changed. From the Fiend and Bray, but it was never really different. But yeah, he did it. He did that. But we'll see it. It's gonna be interesting. But now we've got WWe out of the way. We'll get over.
But Joey, real quick. What about my niece said something about Karrion Kross? Can he possibly come back and interfere with this match?
Well, he's already come back and interfere. I don't see them doing it here, just because I think they want to establish a Roman Kross storyline for the Raw side of it.
Oh, okay,
and strictly for the Raw belt. So I think they're going to try to set up a way that Roman's in two different feuds at two different times for each belt. I think they want to try to find a way to get the belts back on each show and not only on one show.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just wondering because my niece said something like Karrion Kross might pop out or something like that. But man, if Wyatt does happen, oh my God, this is going to be insane.
Well, there was reports last night that were on Facebook that said he's very close to signing a multi-million-dollar return contract.
And this all has to do with Triple H bringing these characters back, the ones that's wanted by the WWE fans, pretty much. So that's awesome. I love it. It's incredible. It's going to be a good storyline.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, just like you said, let's WWE. Dave's gone, so he's our pretty much WWE love, and let's just talk about some AEW. Pretty much more where you're at into indie wrestling. So let's talk about the first one here. Shocking, Punk versus Moxley.
Yeah, very shocking to say the least. So I wasn't. I hear a lot of people complaining about it wasn't the main event. That to me wasn't the biggest issue to me, because if you look at TV ratings and stuff like that, a lot of times the top of the hour is always the biggest ratings of TV. People are turning in at the top of the hour to see that. So that match started directly at 9:00, right? So I was like, okay, Tony Khan's finally smarting up a little bit. Going to put a marquee match right on the top of the hour. Oh, Mike said he wants to hop on.
What's that?
Mike said I'll hop on.
All right, let me invite him. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so top of the hour, you see it with WWE a lot. They put their marquee events right at 10:00. Tony Khan did it right at 9:00. I was like, okay, Tony Khan's finally smarting up. He's learning that you put your biggest thing at the top of the hour, and that way you let these guys go as long as they want, and they don't get caught off by TV time. Whatever happens for the main event. But then they come out, Punk throws one kick, and he's grabbing at his foot that was hurt. Moxley picks him up, does two finishing moves, and it's over in 3 minutes and 1 second. And you're like, holy shit, did I really just see that happen?
Yeah.
This was probably the biggest match in AEW history. Moxley Punk. The biggest match AEW's ever put on. And they did it in 3 minutes and 1 second. Now there's speculation saying, was Punk's injury legit? Was Punk's injury a work to continue the storyline? We'll probably find that out Wednesday night, what's going on. But I'm just flabbergasted as to what the direction they're going to go.
What's up, babe?
Turn the TV down.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds here, man.
Yeah, I agree, Joey. I think are we now questioning the injury? Like, we did see, when he came in the ring, when he actually approached Moxley a couple weeks ago, when he jumped around. Like, he jumped around pretty much like a 180 around the ring, hopping on that foot, saying, like, I'm back. And then when Moxley put his foot out there and shook his foot, thinking, like, you're not 100%. Are we leaning back to that now? We know maybe there was an injury that we weren't told all that. What do you think?
I truly am interested on Wednesday night to see which way they're going. I don't know which way they're going to be going here, but the biggest thing for me is what are they building for? What are they building for? But I really wonder, and here's something that people aren't taking into the picture. Was this a correction action by AEW against Punk? There was those rumors coming out about Punk and what he did last week with calling out Hangman for no reason and stuff like that. Was this a correction action against Punk to be like, okay, you went off script and kind of screwed us. Now we're going to make you be squashed in 3 minutes in the biggest match of AEW's history.
Right.
What's up, guys? Do I sound better now?
Yeah, what's going on, Mike? How you been, man?
Good, man. You guys are talking my second favorite thing other than sports, which is pro wrestling. So I was actually up early for a change on a Saturday. So I saw you guys on, and I had to jump on.
Hey, you're more than welcome. You're part of the family. You already know that. You can check out Big Mike if you guys don't know him. First time checking in here on Out of the Ring podcast. You can check him out 2 places. Devereaux Sports Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Gobbler Inc. And, of course, Thursday night, Big Mike 4 for 4 Locker Room talking Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, and Phillies. So check him out. Give my boy love. Part of the family here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You were bringing up something about AEW. I love the push that they're giving Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's my boy, dude. Like I've only met Eddie Kingston like twice, but I've always been like a big fan of his work. And I'll tell you what, man, like I love what they're doing with him.
Did you see he was actually suspended?
Yeah.
Because he punched the wrestler in the face?
Because
the wrestler called him fat?
Listen, man, like, to be honest with you, we kind of come from an old school, man. Like, he was brought up around the time I was. You know what I mean? Like, we broke into business around the same time. And, like, back then, dude, when you broke into business, you had to prove yourself. And, you'd get in a ring, man. Like, God rest his soul, dude. The very first time I ever worked down south, I got stuck in a tag team match. And the guy on the other side, one of them was Nature Boy Buddy Landell. And, dude, I got punched in the face for something that my tag partner, who I never tugged with until that night, I got punched in the face for something he did. You know what I mean? I didn't bitch and complain about it, but then when Buddy got a hold of him, Buddy kind of lit him up. And the kid came in the back and he was like, all like, and Buddy literally walked over. We had to wrestle on back-to-back nights. We were down there on a Friday, and then I was tagging with the same dude again, and we had to wrestle him Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. It was 3 shows in 2 days. So I knew I had to work him again, so I was just real quiet. Dude, when we got to the next show the next afternoon, Buddy Landell looked me dead in the face. He said, "You're getting all the heat, kid." He goes, "Just do what I tell you." I said, "Yes, sir." Followed him right. Yeah, they no-sold the crap out of this kid, man. Like, I mean, he threw a punch, and I remember Buddy Landell was like, he said, "That girl in the front row hits harder than you." And I was like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
It was definitely a different time.
Got a heat jack out there. Mike, you have your headphones?
I can try, man. Hold on. Is she your headphones? Yeah, they kind of broke on me the other night.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's when me and Joey talked about that through your...
I tried to lower it down, man. I even took you guys off the TV. Like, right now, you guys are coming through my computer.
Yeah, your microphone's picking up when we speak.
Look at this.
Oh, boy.
We're going ghetto, bro.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta
do. Behind me, I have an air conditioner.
We can't hear you.
I hear you a little bit.
A A little bit. No. Now you're muted.
He's muted.
Unmute your mic.
I just did. There
we go.
Good.
We're good.
Perfect. Thank you, brother.
Perfect.
Hey, here at Out of the Box, man, we ain't professional. We have fun.
Yeah.
We're telling, like, sometimes we have to go ghetto, and here we are. We're going ghetto. Screw it. We had to do what we have to do to bring you the show.
But Mike, speaking of what you were talking about, it was definitely wrestling was definitely different, and you can probably attest to this. Back in the day compared to now, now it's a lot more flippity and kind of
yeah, it was more storytelling.
Fest. Exactly.
It's more storytelling back then. God rest his soul, but I actually had a chance to know New Jack on a pretty decent level. And New Jack said something to me one time. He said, dude, I can get two monkeys to come in here and flip around and do moves, which a lot of people didn't realize this. Jack knew his shit. Like, when I was training, I used to love throwing Japanese arm drags. One, I was 250 pounds, and I wanted to do something different. Nobody my size was throwing Japanese arm drags. So when Jack said that to me, he goes, why are you throwing Jap arm drags? He goes, that's meant for smaller guys. I said, exactly. I was like, I'm 250. I was like, nobody's going to expect me to throw them. I said, I'm trying to stand out. And he took a step back. He goes, all right, keep going with that. He actually worked with me on that. He was actually showing me, like, the ways I could throw it differently out of nowhere. And everybody thinks the New Jack, all they think about is a dude carrying a trash can to the ring. Yeah. But the dude was very smart. He knew how to work, but that was just his niche, was the hardcore thing. But that dude could work. Yeah. He used to come down. We used to have a gym in Port Richmond. He used to come down and work out with us probably 2 to 3 times a week if he was in the area. And, like, I was blessed, dude, because I was one of the guys he trusted to get in the ring with. You know what I mean? And I learned a lot from that dude, man. I told him, I said, when he got a little older and his memory was a little foggy, I said, look, you may not remember. I said, but it was something I ain't forget. And it was cool. Like I said, I mean, we used to have a lot of people come down our gym, dude, back in the day. Like, you had guys like Steve Carino would come down to our gym all the time. Mike Keener, who's a referee over at, Mike refs everywhere now, but he was with ECW. We would have guys like Reckless Youth, who, if you don't realize who he is, he went to, he was a local talent, but, like, he was, like, top 20 every year in the PWI 500. Yeah. Dude, like, he was really good. He had a WWE developmental deal. We used to have guys like Don Montoya. These guys were all local guys that would come, and, they would come and work out with us, and you couldn't help but learn, man. Angel Amoroso, Angel from early ECW, she would come down, and she would give tips, So, like, being in that business at that time, once you got through your initial stage and you started doing shows and stuff like that, and your character started getting noticed or whatever, then it was like, okay, then you start getting some respect. But, I mean, trust me, dude, like, you got your ass beat probably for the first year and a half you were in the business. And you had to take it. Like, there were some dudes in there I know I could knock out easily. Like, in a straight street fight, like, I would kick their ass. But it's like, you're earning your stripes.
You gotta pay your dues, right?
You gotta pay your dues, yeah.
No, that's not paying dues, dude. Paying dues is showing up, getting paid $15 for a show, and then, they ain't got 4 guys to do a ring crew. Gotcha. And they're like, hey, buddy, can you help out with ring crew? Which, by the way, I'll say to any young talent out there, look, this here thing is not going to work, so I'm going to keep it just like this. That works. I'm having a wrestling match with these damn headphones. No, but, like, if I could give any advice out there, never be too big to ever help out. If you see that the ring crew shows up and there's only 3 people doing ring, dude, walk your ass in there and go grab some boards and help them set up. Stick around, wait till after the show, help them out, tearing down. You're never too big to do that.
It's funny you say that, Mike, because I was at, when I went to Six Flags for a wrestling event, they had some pretty big names on there. They had, like, Sammy Guevara, they had Eddie Kingston, they had Enzo from WWE. Like, they had a lot of big names. But a lot of the homegrown talent that they had after the event was over actually came back out and did help with the ring crew with tearing down and
well, that was probably guys from that promotion wherever they rented the ring from. They probably told them, like, hey, because when I was a part of a local promotion in Philly, we had ring rentals, and we would always send extra workers. Like, if we didn't have a booking and we were off that night, our trainer or the guy that owned our fed would be like, hey, why don't you hop along with them? You'll get a payday out of it, but go help out with the ring, and just to make sure that they're good. So a lot of times, if it's the home fed that's where, or whoever they rented the ring from, they'll always bring extra guys. One, to get them on the show. You know, that's always been something that they could do. You know, but
yeah, it was called New Northeast Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said
I heard of them.
the biggest non-televised wrestling company in the country. They said. Which I don't know.
Listen, everybody's got a moniker. You go to every independent's got a moniker. You know what I mean? So, actually,
I'm back in the ring October.
Yes, October 15th. I'm stepping back in. It's T2I Wrestling. It's going to be held over at Super Crazy's place over there in Deptford. I'm not billed on the card, but I will be there. That's pretty much all I can say. I'm whooping somebody's ass.
Did a spoiler?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're whooping somebody's ass that night. It'll be myself. I'll be under my alias, the Dark Angel Slayer. And I also have a manager. His name is Father Flanagan. He's Irish. So, yes, that's right. I have a priest because we're called Damaged Souls.
Is this going to be a one-off or is this going to be a recurring thing now?
It's probably going to be a recurring theme.
The Slayer is coming back, boys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got the itch, man. Like, I got an itch. Like, I just walked through 7 things of poison ivy. So, you know, that's the only thing I will say about this business. If you're involved in it, it's like the mob. You can't get out. As soon as you think you're out, they do something to draw you right back in, or you just get the itch to come back. I have a lot of fun doing it, though. You know, I know AEW's... I'm 46, dude. The 2 big guys ain't looking at me. But if I can help out and help the younger generation and get them prepared to get somebody to go somewhere, man, I don't mind doing that. That's what business. That's what the business is supposed to be about. You're supposed to give back. And
pay it forward and be humble, man. It's what you can do.
Yeah. Trust me, I've eaten a lot of humble pie. But I can tell you guys stories for days. But I'll give you a quick one. Me and 4 buddies, we got asked to come do a show in Georgia by the Italian Stallion. We went down there, did the show, gave us huge props. We left on a Friday afternoon, drove straight down there, did the show Saturday afternoon. We were getting our pay. He gave us our envelopes. We're like, oh, cool. This is how we were young in the business. Nobody seemed to open up the envelopes until we got on the road. Literally, we got 3 thank you notes and $15.
Wow.
And what were you expecting?
This dude was supposed to give us 100 each. So we went from 400. So he called me back probably about, I'd say a month later. Was like, brother, I'd love to have you back down. I said, yeah. I said, we could do that. I said, but first things first, I said, you got to settle up with me. I said, you're about $385 short of what we agreed upon. I said, you gave us 3 thank you notes and $15. I said, $15 is good from guys that are like 20 miles away, dude. I said, we're driving from Philadelphia to Georgia. I was like, that's not even a quarter tank of gas. Because back then, gas was kind of cheap back then, but even still, $15, you know. That was gas and toll. That wasn't even a hot dog, dude. But luckily, like, we all kind of we went for the experience. Like, the Hardys were on that show. So, you know, and they had just started doing jobs on their so it was cool, but like I just never worked for the dude again. But yeah, but like that happens though. That happens in the business. I know somebody that went to Puerto Rico and he literally had to work as a bouncer for 2 weeks to get the money to save to come back home. Because he didn't buy a round trip ticket, and they promised him bookings, but the problem is when he went over there for the 2 weeks, he made more money bouncing in the 2 weeks than he did wrestling. And like he was a little older than me, and I remember he gave me, he pulled me aside. He said, "Listen, they ever book you to go to Puerto Rico?" He said, "Buy your return trip home." and I was like, "Yeah, I would do that anyway." I was like, "You always make sure you got a way home." Like, my mom always taught me that. Like, no matter what I did, she's like, "If you're going somewhere, make sure you have, whatever way you got there is the way you get home." And I'm like, "Yeah, most definitely." And especially with that. But yeah, it's been cool, man. Like I said, I got stories for days, man. Especially like West Virginia. I worked for a company in West Virginia for a better part of 10 years. Like kind of broken up. Like we did 4. I worked with them for about 2 years, and then me and my tag partner, my buddy Sean Frizzle, he worked as Big Nasty. We left there for 4 years. We went back about 2004, dude, and from like 2004 to like 2012 straight, we like worked for them.
So you would just travel down like every weekend?
Not every weekend. They would do once or twice a month down there. But there were times that
little drive, right?
About 3 hours. I mean, the biggest. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we used to go in the Panhandle, what they call the Northern Panhandle. Oh, you know what I mean? So it's kind of close by, but it's not that far. But I've done shows in Morgantown from us working for CPW. We actually got noticed by another guy that ran out of Morgantown, and I remember he brought us in and treated us like if we were stars. And believe it or not, dude, like down there, we kind of were. Like I remember me and Sean did a signing. We had to get up early in the morning. It was at a food line, and the food line paid us $200 each to come there and sign autographs. So we ended up selling like an extra 150 or 200 tickets while we were there doing the signing. And it was like, and people like, you would have thought me and him were a hawk and animal. Like that's how they looked at us. And I was just like, wow. Like the best compliment I got was a kid that came to every show. We went to a local bar down there. It was me, my buddy Joe. He worked under the name Warlock. And we went in Friday night instead of Saturday. Nasty was coming the next day. So we go in, we find this little local bar. We're sitting there just drinking. And even back then, they had casino machines inside there.
Yeah. So
I was sitting there playing a slot machine, just messing around. And I just see this kid, like, looking at me out of the corner of his eye with his jaw dropped. And so I kind of, like, looked over at him, and I recognized him from the shows. I was like, what's up, man? And he was like, oh, my God. He's like, you're actually here hanging out in this bar? And I'm like, yeah, man. I said, we're in town for the shows tomorrow. I said, we got 2 shows tomorrow. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I'm going to both of them. And I was like, oh, cool, man. Well, next you know, he started telling the whole bar, like, that we were wrestlers. And I'm, like, looking at my boy going, dude, are we going to have to fight our way out of here? Because, there's going to be some idiot that's going to want to try you. So we're like, I'm like, this is going to be not nuts. Dude, it got around. This dude went and told everybody at both shows that me and my buddy Joe Locke, that we partied there. Next thing you know, fans from the show started coming to the bar. So, like, we would show up. I remember the owner looked at us. He goes, you're them wrestling boys, right? I was like, yes, sir. He was like, y'all don't ever pay to get in here ever again. He said, come on in. And I said, why? He goes, look what y'all done. Dude, his whole back room area where we hung at was filled with people. And I was like, what the hell? And we just started laughing. Like, we went back, dude, there was literally a table was marked off. Like a real long table like was marked off for us. Like a VIP area. Yeah. And we just went back and started partying. And, like, people would come back and party with us. When they just got to know that we were regular guys. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So have you been following along with AEW at all?
Bits and pieces. I kind of got out of watching the thing because to me everything looked cookie cutter. I like the freshness of AEW, but some of the things that they're doing too, like I'm sorry, like they're kind of just as guilty as WWE is. Wheeling out these older guys, Yeah. Like I'm sorry, I'm a big huge Sting mark. That's the reason I wear face paint. But like I love Sting, but it's time for dude to hang it up. He's 60 years old, man. You know what I mean?
Sting doesn't get to me as much as like Billy Gunn. Like I don't understand why Billy Gunn's still in it.
Well, he's in it because of his boys. Yeah, well, he's in it because of his boys. I mean, and his one son is a dead ringer for him, is he not?
Yeah,
look identical. Crazy. So, but I mean, I'm just tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing all these like Attitude Era guys or WCW Monday Night War guys. Like, man, ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm slowing down my schedule and riding out after 26 years. Like, these dudes been in it since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, dude, ride off.
When I went Sting with my son, I said to Sting, like, you were a legend in the game when I was a kid, and I loved you as a kid, and I'm 28. I said, you're still going, and my son's a fan of you now. I said, it's crazy the longevity you have in the business. He said, I'm going till the wheels fall off, pretty much.
I heard, like, I met him some years back, man. I don't know. I met him once as a kid. He was cool, but I was a kid. When I met him in the business, he was kind of a little standoffish. Like, didn't really want to talk too much. I don't know. Maybe I just caught him on a bad day, but I just introduced myself, kind of kept going. And I remember I told him my name, and he just stopped, and he was like, wow. He goes, your name's got a hell of a ring to it. He was like, market yourself, man. And that's all I remember him saying to me. He's like, market yourself. Get T-shirts, market yourself. He goes, because you got a heck of a name. He goes, and trademark it. He goes, spend the $60 a year, trademark it. He goes, because that's a hell of a name. He goes, you'll get booked off your name alone. And I was like, and he goes, what made you come up with that name? And I was like, well, I said I was looking, I was like, how I came up with my name, honestly, was I was looking, because I knew, like, you know, Michael's the ultimate archangel. But there's an archangel above him. Believe it or not too many people know, and that's the Angel of Death. Angel of Death is final for everybody. So that's why I came up, and the Angel of Death, his side name is the Dark Angel. So once I was like, I put Dark Angel and then Slayer, and then I was like, yeah, that's got a ring to it. And it was funny because one of my mentors, his name is Flex Wheeler. He used to go under the Dark Angel Flex Wheeler, and I saw one of his promo pics, but he wasn't calling himself that anymore. So, you know, me being a young guy in the business, I just asked permission. I'm like, yo, Flex, I'm like, you using that Dark Angel moniker anymore? He goes, no. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I think I want to use it. And he was like, all right, cool. He's like, go for it. And then he put it together, and man, they ran with it, you know?
Yeah, when I met him, he was pretty cool. Maybe because I had my son with me, but he seemed like a cool dude. Or maybe it's because of the age of the business, you know, at this point, how long he's been in it. Kind of just put on a nice smile. But the reason I was asking you about that was because on Wednesday night, there was rumors of Thunder Rosa, who was the AEW champion, that she had a lot of heat backstage. Ironically enough, Wednesday night she miraculously got an injury and had to drop the belt. So what I was going to ask you was, do you think this was AEW's way of kind of writing her off, let the heat die, or do you think that there's a legit injury, or do you think that wrestling companies would never fake an injury to get someone off TV?
That's bull. Wrestling companies will fake everything, dude. Like, I don't care who it is. If you get heat with your locker room, they're gonna go in a different direction. They're gonna write you off no matter what. Yeah.
I mean, the heat was so bad, Mike. There was rumors that, like, at one point she did something that's so bad to piss another girl off that she hid in the bathroom the entire rest of the show because she didn't want to get beat up. Like, that's how bad it got in the back locker room, they're saying.
Well, listen, you also can't read the dirt sheets, too, because I'm going to tell you this. Like, a lot of workers, wrestlers, they feed that dirt sheet. They'll tell you stuff, man. And, you know, that's just, to me, it's a lot of force. It's a lot of force feed.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the one
that's great.
Dude, a lot of...
your Cowboys kept my parlay going last night too, Paul. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you must be a degenerate gambler if you're betting on preseason.
Bro, I put $1. I did a $1 parlay, and guess what? If both games today go under, guess what? I win $176. That's $175 come up off $1. Okay, no, I'm not throwing Paul money around here now.
Yeah. Come on here.
You're not throwing $50 on Leon Edwards.
I got screwed last night with the Cubs and the
stupid.
Brewers.
The Cubs.
No, it went in the 10th inning. It was 4-3. Milwaukee had bases loaded. Okay, 1 out. The guy hits a liner right to the shortstop. Okay, the first guy in first base doesn't run. He gets tagged, flips it to first base. Game over. Idiot.
That's why I took the Cubbies with 1.5 yesterday. Mm-hmm. You know who got me yesterday? The damn Toronto first game. Got me in the first game. I took Toronto in the first game over the Angels, and it was like 8-0 when I saw it. I just got rid of it.
Well, I kind of like that. I kind of like that because then I don't have to worry about the rest of the games. You know, I hate when I'm holding on to that last game.
Exactly.
If it's like an 8-game parlay and then the 8th game doesn't hit, I'm so pissed.
Yep.
If it's the first game, I'm like, all right.
How long is Rosa out for? I know she has like a disc problem. How long is she out for? Is it called?
They didn't give you a time frame. The only thing that they did say was that they'll do a 4-way at All Out for the. They keep doing this stupid interim title.
The interim title match. I see
that. If a champion's gonna be out for more than 30 days, they should stop with the interim shit. If a champion's gonna be out for more than 30 days, it should be the new champion. That champion should drop their belt, and then when they come back, they can they'll be first in line for the belt. But it shouldn't be interim anymore if they're going to be out longer than 30
Yeah,
days.
I don't understand. I mean, that was kind of fresh and new, the whole thing with Moxley and with Punk. That was kind of innovative. But now, if you start doing that with every title, like, come on now.
Like, yeah, because really. It makes it look like you're like someone compare like Bully Ray compared to like almost like a participation trophy. Like, okay, you're a placeholder until the real champion gets back. You're just an interim.
Right. Like if you're going to do that, have them drop the title or have them win. Like the best line I ever heard in wrestling was Scotty Steiner. I remember the Steiners dropped the titles. I forget who they dropped them to. It might have been the Nasty Boys. Okay. They didn't drop them. Scotty Steiner got hurt. They held like a little tournament, a tag tournament, or whatever. And all I remember was, I think it might have been the Nasties. So like the Nasties were in the ring, like holding the title belts up and pointing at the Steiners, and like, yeah, we're the champions. And Scotty Steiner said, "Great, go ahead, hold them titles up. You guys are walking around with something we never lost."
Yeah.
And dude, I use that line because that's a great line. Like, hey, and it says to a point there, like, hey, you guys, it's acknowledging them as being the champions, but I didn't lose it, and we're coming to get it. That right there, that sells. That sells. Like that will.
You don't have to do a storyline. It's when they're healthy to come back, they're first in line for the title.
Right.
That's it. They shouldn't be interim, like you said. There's no reason to say interim. Just say champion.
It's just is no offense. That's just Tony Khan trying to be different.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I like Tony Khan. I think he's got some great ideas, but he needs to get out of the way too. Mm-hmm. He needs to let people that he hired do their jobs, and that's the whole problem with some of these guys. Like, you can understand it from the McMahon standpoint with WWE because that's a family-run business. This is now third generation now running that business. So you have to, you understand that if you go to work for them, you got to deal with Triple H, you got to deal with Stephanie, because they are very hands-on. Tony Khan doesn't have that clout. You know what I mean? He's got to build up his own.
Is everything. Tony Khan is the promoter. He's the booker. He's the backer for the money. He literally is everything. I feel like he needs to surround himself with a little bit more, to where he takes some off of his plate. I feel like
he's got players there. He's got players there. Yeah. He's got Arn Anderson's there. Jake Roberts is there. Like, there's two minds.
Took one of the lead bookers from WWE, Pat Buck. They just got him.
Yeah, Pat Buck. But he just went over there. So I mean, you got legitimate people around you that you can pass the buck off to. And he shouldn't be on air. Like, I don't think anybody, once you cross over and you're in the back end of it, kind of stay off air. You know what I mean? Like, this whole thing, I mean, is Tully Blanchard still over there too?
Well, so here's the thing about Tully Blanchard. He just no-showed an event. Like, he was supposed to be on a show. He just didn't board the flight. So AEW was like, okay, you're done. We're done with your services.
No.
They said that doesn't surprise me. With him. This is kind of what he does.
That doesn't. Yeah, it's kind of what he does. But like I said, I like the young talent they have there, though. Like I like Darby Allin. I don't get the whole Orange Cassidy thing. I don't. Like, me being a worker.
When he doesn't do that weird stuff, he's a good worker.
Right, I've seen him work. When he did his stuff out in Cali, when he worked, was it PCW? I think he worked for out there.
Yeah, Pro Wrestling Gorilla.
Yeah. I've seen him work when he was out there, dude. He can work. I just don't get this whole gimmick. Like, where he walks over and taps somebody in the shin with his foot, and the crowd goes nuts. Like, I'm like, to me, that's making a mockery to business.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if you follow along with this, with the All Out, but a lot of matches were announced this week. The one match that stuck out to me was I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, they used to be with TNA.
Yeah, so they're actually coming back. They're coming to AEW now, and they're gonna team with Jay Lethal, and they're gonna fight Warlow and FTR. That should be a hell of a match. Jay Lethal, FTR, Motor City Machine Guns. That's gonna be a hell of a match.
FTR's they're a pretty good tag team. I just watched them. They worked the Briscoes not too long ago.
Yes, that was probably one of the best. Did you watch their regular match or their wasn't it a 2 out of 3 falls match also?
2 out of 3, yeah.
That was incredible.
That's the one where the Briscoes dropped the belts to them. Like, that's a tag team I feel is very underrated and should be somewhere.
Yeah.
I've been on shows with both Briscoes, with both of them boys. Them boys are the truth, man. They are as advertised. And like I said, they're my boys. Mark, I don't really know too much, but Jay, I know. You know what I mean? So like, I always bullshit. Every time I was ever in a locker room in Delaware, man, them boys was always on the card and always cool people, man. Like we used to sit down and talk a lot of football with them guys. And I tell you what, Mark is a lot of people think Mark's the dopey one. Like he's a dope or whatever. That dude is smart, man. Very smart.
Yeah, they're great workers, and they have a good run going right now in GCW. They have a big match coming up at GCW. They're doing like a War Games type match.
Okay.
With the 2 rings, and they're in the match. It's like them versus 3 other tag teams, and that's a pretty cool match. But they were supposed to go to AEW, but supposedly Warner, who owns TNT, got word of some comments that one of them made a couple years back.
Like 8 years ago.
Yeah, horrible. And but it's stupid. Like people can change, people can grow and people grow up. People you shouldn't crucify someone for what they did 8 years ago. It's ridiculous.
I'm made of shit right now. I'm looking at Paul and I just realized he got a Cheez-It shirt on. You got a freaking Cheez-It shirt.
Hey man, when you're retired, you don't give a damn what the hell you wear in life. You know what I mean?
That's true. I got my Korn shirt on from last year, even though I'm going to the concert this year.
There you go.
I'm actually going today. I'm going with our boy Sullivan. Me and Joey Sullivan are going to see Korn.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Korn. Where are they performing at?
Over across Camden.
Oh, okay. Camden's been doing a lot. Last night they had Zach Brown Band. Today they have Korn. It's gonna be.
Yeah, it's Korn and Evanescence. Korn is my favorite.
Wonder who that was.
Is that Rob?
Probably Rob.
What the hell is he doing up? It's like 5 o'clock in the morning out there.
And out of the box here, you got dedication from all the hosts out there. So
listen. I love Rob to death.
Kenny Fry.
Oh, it's Kenny. Okay.
That's my Batcave boy. Kenny Fry every bi-weekly, every Wednesday, 10 a.m. talking Mets, the Batcave.
Speaking of that, Braves are right on there behind too, right? They're only like a game out.
Yep.
Yeah. It's about to be September. We all know it's going to happen. But let's move on.
Yeah, the Braves are going to win the division. We already know.
Let's move on from the Mets. Let's move on from the Mets. What do you think now? Because you've obviously heard how they kind of did that Moxley Punk match in 3 minutes and 1 second. What do you how can you come back from that? Can you come back from having your champion lose the belt in 3 minutes and 1 second? The pay-per-view is September 4th, so that's less than 10 days away. And from a booking standpoint, does a guy deserve another shot at the belt losing 3 minutes and 10 seconds?
Yeah, because it makes perfect sense. I mean, if you look at it, now you're saying Punk dropped it, or was it Moxley dropped it to Punk, right?
So Punk hurt his foot. He hurt his foot.
Right, I knew the whole thing.
In 3 minutes and 1 second, and Moxley pins him. So there's rumors that it's going to be heel Punk. Punk's going to turn heel. And heel Punk versus Moxley at All Out for the title, which is on September 4th.
Well, yeah, you can come back from that. And if it was it all depends. If it was a shoot injury, which is a real injury, then maybe Punk when it did something to his foot where he needs like a week to be off of it before he can go back doing something, and then they can just work again. Dude, Moxley's a horse. And so is Punk. Punk's been proving it for years, man, that he could go. And I think them two got great chemistry. You know what I mean? Working. I mean, they both got the gift of gab. Punk's got his his pipe bombs and everything like that. So, I mean, yeah, it can make it work. Both of them guys know what they're doing, and they can, like, as far as deserving a title shot, like, dude, there's nobody. Listen, when it's your turn, me, you, and Paul could be all working for the same company, right? You're the heavyweight champion. All of a sudden, his notoriety starts getting big, whether he's a bad guy or a good guy, but he's getting known. People are starting to look at him and go, yeah, I'm taking notice to him, man.
Yeah.
So, but, hey, that's how wrestling goes, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, guys, I love you guys, but I got to get ready because I got ready to go see Korn tonight. But it was a pleasure hopping on with you boys.
All right, man. Hey, listen, real quick before we get out of here, I just want to let everybody know here at Out of the Box, we are family, 100%, no matter what happens in life. And we just want to take the time right now on air to say, hey, Jamie, if you're listening, that's Mike Laura's wife. She's having surgery Tuesday. So please, everybody that watches our shows on any show on our network, please keep Jamie Lower in our prayers because she's having surgery Tuesday. We won't get into it, but just keep her in your thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery and nothing to go wrong because we know she's a rock star. And Jamie, if you're listening, we love you, your family. Get well, get better. Mike, take care of her. We love you. We love her. Thank you, brother.
All right, guys. Thank you once again, man. You guys have a good one.
All right. We'll talk to you.
Enjoy corn.
Definitely.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely.
Sounds good, brother. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I'll see. Paul, before we go, I want to touch on Ken's comment about
yes, please.
Legit. I don't know. I haven't heard one way or another. Wednesday will be a huge indicator if it's legit. I just don't see AEW letting him work if that foot wasn't 100%. If that foot's 100%, realistically, a kick shouldn't re-injure it. But who knows? It was the exact same foot. I don't know. Because here's why I don't think it's legit. If you watch that match, right? Punk's clutching the foot. He's clutching the foot, right? But here's the thing about that, Ken. Watch that back, Ken. The foot he grabs was not the foot that he kicked with. The foot he grabs, the foot that was planted.
I didn't even notice that, Joey. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So here's the thing that like I was listening to Bully Ray as a radio show every morning. Bubba Ray, for you know as Bubba Ray, Paul. He has a radio show every morning, right? And the one thing he was saying was, and he actually counted it out, right? Punk's clutching at the foot, then Moxley does his finishing moves and pins him, right? Busted open it exactly. Punk did not touch his foot again after the pin for 10 to 12 seconds after the match. If you were just pinned, right, and you're in agonizing pain from your foot, regardless of what's going on, you're grabbing your foot and you're holding your foot still. He didn't even mention the foot for 10 seconds after that pin. That leads me to believe that it's not legit injury.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, Joey, when we actually, I think we talked, we actually, I don't know if I'm sure we played it on air, but when he jumped around, we thought it was like, is this just a, little eye candy, saying he's back, just going into the event? Is it going to be canceled somehow? But just like you said, 3-minute event? That
3 minutes and 1 second.
Insane. That's insane. You talked about it, Joey, how all the beat writers say one thing versus another thing just to keep you on the edge of your seat. Is that something we're gearing down again where we seen it? It was planted in our head like, okay, well, the injury's back. Is he going to come out the next event and beat the hell out of Moxley or something like that and do the same thing over just to carry on a new storyline? What do you think? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of puzzled.
I truly don't know. Wednesday is going to be very interesting. It's the last show before the pay-per-view. Typically, AEW does about 11 matches. Right now, they're at 9.
Right. Which we'll get into. We'll get into some of the main ones here in a couple minutes here.
So I don't think we're going to do that today, Paul, because
really?
Looking at the calendar, we have another show next Saturday before that show on Sunday. So I think next Saturday is strictly going to be an All Out and Clash of the Castle preview show. We're just going to cover those two pay-per-views top to bottom. Every single match, we'll just do those matches. And we'll do our predictions at that point on that show.
Well, maybe that's a good thing because this way I get another week to actually think about what I'm going to talk about, make some predictions here, because the only thing I can say is last week on AEW, House of the Dragon a couple weeks ago, there was somebody that actually predicted Danielson to win this event. So I'm just going to gloat in that until the next prediction is showing.
Okay.
I was right. How can you have the dragon lose on House of the Dragon Day to the Dragon Slayer? It doesn't happen that way, Joey. See, you got to see it through my eyes, Joey. Cowboy fans aren't stupid, Joey. Just letting you know that. Okay.
Okay. Every year's your year, though.
Hey, every news a new year, Joey. We're 0-0, just like you. Okay.
You must feel happy that they add an extra game. Now you can't finish at 500.
You know what, Joey, man? You know what?
But yeah, we'll touch base next week on this. We'll get a lot more answers, a lot of questions right now as to what the hell is going on. The AEW, there's rumors that MJF's going to be back and he's going to be in the title picture. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting Wednesday to say the least. But next week we kind of covered Clash of the Castle a little bit today. So next week will be more predominantly focused on All Out and that pay-per-view because it'll be the next day. But yeah, check us out next week. Paul, if you want to close it out with all of our shows. And another thing, people, one thing before I let you close it out, Paul, it's not listed there, but starting actually yesterday, we've actually started streaming live to Twitter also now too. Mm-hmm. So if you want to check us out on Twitter, you can check us out on there also.
Definitely. Thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, we have a new thing on Twitter now. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and now Twitter Live. And it's a little bit different on each category. On Twitter, it's OOBTS Sports. So if you get a chance, follow us there. We'll put a link in there on our page to all of our shows out there. So great. We are on Twitter now, which we appreciate all the viewers out there. I think we're up to like 1,200 or something like that. Joey's laughing for some reason. I don't know what the hell he's laughing for.
Someone posted a picture of Griffin. You know the guy with one arm? And Griffin, their linebacker.
Shaquille Griffin or whatever his name is.
Yeah. He retired, right?
Oh,
and someone said, "Why did he retire? May I ask?" Someone commented and said, "Shit was getting out of hand because he only has one."
Yo, you know you're going to hell, right?
That's so messed up, man.
I'm probably gonna look at it later and laugh too.
That's so messed up.
But anyway, the last comment here of the day. Yeah, Shaquem, that's what it was. Yeah, he had another brother too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a pretty good corner now.
He is actually. He is definitely. But you're going to hell, Joey. Just letting you know that. Just letting you know that. You know, your mama raised you better. I know her personally. She I'm gonna let her know later on too about you laughed at that.
I'm definitely
she'll probably laugh anyway too. But hey, listen, at Out of the Box, we appreciate everybody out there. So here's our lineup for shows. Starting Tuesday night at 10 p.m. It's the Fight Club 215 with myself, Joey Woods, talking UFC, WWe boxing, WBA boxing, everything we have you covered there. Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Our man Ken Fry also checking in here every time, live every other Wednesday, 10 a.m. The Bat Cave, talking all New York Mets baseball. Check him out. Great show. Also, College Football Frenzy, our newest show, debuting 2 weeks ago. Incredible show. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Myself, Mike Laurel, Joe Sullivan, and Joey Woods. All college football. And check us out Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Wednesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Them 215 boys. You're never going to hear anything like this. This here, we bash our Cowboys. If they play like crap, we'll let you know. If they play good, it's our season. We're going to win at Super Bowl. Just letting you know. But check them out every Wednesday, 9:30. Also, we have Big Mike, who you just seen on the network. Big Mike's for a Locker Room podcast. Thursdays at 8 p.m. talking Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, Sixers. Last night, we had Big Blue Power Hour. Evan Laurel and Stacey Northrup talking New York Giants football. Check them out. They keep it real. Great knowledge. Great fans. Of course, you already know it's Saturday morning, so you better get your bagels, your breakfast sandwiches, whatever you want to do, your cup of coffee, because Out of the Ring podcast is here every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Also, later tonight, Ken Fry's back in action. Vegas sports scene with Rob Hefner, a.k.a. Vegas Rob, and Rob Hefner talking Raiders, Golden Knights, maybe a little bit about the Angels now I'm hearing moving over, or the Oakland A's. So also, and our proud sponsor, J Fine Law, a.k.a. Big Al, for all your personal needs. Give him a call at 1-800-HURT-123. He has offices in Pittsburgh coming up soon. Also in Philadelphia's main office, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120, Philadelphia. Once again, give Jason Fine a call, a.k.a. Big Al. Hurt 1-800-HURT-123, and tell him the boys from Out of the Box sent you. He'll take care of you. Definitely top 5 lawyer in Philadelphia, super lawyer 100 in the United States. So give him a call. He's a personal friend and a great lawyer. So give him a call. So, Joey, you want to take us out of here real quick? We got one more comment real quick, and it's Ken Fry with nothing on there. He's preparing for his show. See, that's what we mean. Out of the box, we're always preparing. So he's probably busy preparing for his show tonight. But go ahead, Joey, take us out of here. Anything else?
No, I think you covered everything. Like we said, check us out now on Twitter also. Great show. I appreciate everyone checking in today. And everyone have a great rest of your weekend.
All right. We'll see you next Saturday morning at 8
I do have one thing, Paul. I do have one thing.
Okay.
How are you winning the Super Bowl with me and you blocking for them? That's the question I have. But everyone have a great weekend.
That's a great segue. Turn in Wednesday night, and we'll let you know when I suit up. You're going to see one hell of an offensive lineman playing that game. He might be 50 years old, but he's going to be playing. Shut up, Joey. Guys, disregard what Joey just said. Okay, this is a wrestling show, and we're talking about Cowboys here, but we're family.
Hey, you're the one that said Super Bowl during the wrestling.
You know what? We're going to win the Super Bowl, Joey. Don't worry about it. Okay, just We'll see you in February. All right, guys. For myself, Paul Spencer, and Joey Woods, we will see you next week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.